Swayam Prabha. Digital India. Educated India.
When we think of some leisurely activities, we often think about traveling to mountains, beaches, forests, etc. etc. But do you know that a new dimension has been added to this, which is the space? Yes, you heard that right. Space tourism is the newest form of tourism, basically for people who want an out-of-the-world experience. So those visits to space, which were earlier limited to scientific discoveries, have now become a new marketplace for people. So whether this space tourism is relevant or not is what we are going to debate about on this edition of School of Thought. So we have with us today two groups of students. One, who call themselves light years ahead, believe that space tourism is a bold adventure and is relevant enough, and the others, called the cosmic watchdogs, who find no relevance of space tourism and call it an irresponsible extravagance. So I request the team light years ahead to open this debate.
Space tourism, the ability to draw some finest minds into the space. The instinct to explore is the right of human. And some of our most amazing achievements has taken place in space. The development of technology such as miniaturization have led to the development of microchips. So what is your opinion on this?
So while exploration in space definitely leads to an advancement in technology, but in order to get to that level of advancement, is it really necessary for us to indulge in this irresponsible extravagance that is space tourism? Because as we all know that space tourism, while it can be a great activity for some, however, it has very serious environmental hazards associated with it.
Taking examples from the real life existing companies, there are certain maverick companies like SpaceX or Blue Origin. They are focusing on innovating new technologies and ideas which are cost effective, and also they are more sustainable. Now, talking about the environmental damage, there are certain fuels which are sustainable, like the Virgin Galactic company has recently innovated a renewable fuel which is HTPV. Right? In 2019, NASA's GIPCM mission, it focused on innovating fuels which are high performance giving and also less environment damage givers. At the same time, I believe there could also be innovations of reusable spacecrafts. SpaceX Falcon 9 is a spacecraft which is zero carbon neutral emission spacecraft. So if we focus on taking help from energies which are more renewable, like rockets which are based on solar energy, we can reduce the environmental impact.
One thing I would like to share here is you are talking about the fuels that are less
Damaging to
damaging to the environment, but the focus is not about going to the space, it's about the manufacturing of the spaceship as well. Because the manufacturing process, a lot of pollutants are released into the air. So what are your thoughts upon that?
I would want you to not think of it as an exploitation. Think of it as an investment for the future, right? Had we not worked in the field of internet 50 years back, we would not have been able to come where we are. So basically, abhi we're using resources so that आगे जाके future में we don't have such type of problems.
So we are already suffering from environmental issues. Abhi recently Yamuna flood also occurred because of the damage we have done. While you just said about the जब हमने इंटरनेट वगैरह के बारे में करा था मैन्युफैक्चर, तो जब हमारे पास ऑलरेडी ही इतना डैमेज है, why to increase it? Let's first work on decreasing it.
The thing is, अगर हम पहले अभी we talk about decreasing the damage, अभी देखो the space industry is in a very nascent stage. तो जो आपका कंसर्न है ऑफ रिसोर्सेज का एक्सप्लॉयटेशन एंड क्रिएटिंग डैमेज, वो अभी इमीडिएट कंसर्न नहीं है. व्हाट आई वुड सजेस्ट इज दैट जो ऑलरेडी पोल्यूशन कॉजिंग इंडस्ट्रीज हैं उनको थोड़ा रिस्ट्रिक्ट करते हैं, उनका जो एनफोर्समेंट है लॉज का उसको बेटर करते हैं, rather than restricting आगे के इनोवेटिव एक्सपीरियंसेस. व्हाट से?
While that's true, and it's obviously a good attempt to try some sustainable practices when it comes to sustainable tourism, but however, like, let's bring into the picture the other global pressing issues that we have. Why not put those resources over there instead of like indulging in tourism from now on? And we already have space exploration programs which are there for the innovation part. So tourism is more of like a leisure activity, I would say.
And I'd like to add the point that we already have caused a major amount of damage to the environment. So I don't think we can afford to damage it even further. It might be that space tourism may cause damage in the future. But it is also true that if we don't stop it today, we won't be stop it tomorrow. We won't be able to stop it tomorrow as well.
But don't you think that stopping it today is equivalent to stopping the kind of development and the kind of endless possibilities the space and the universe holds?
In my opinion, space exploration is the answer to your point. Space exploration is meant for development, not space tourism.
The thing is, I'm so sorry.
Yeah,
The thing is, space tourism is not just people wearing floral shirts and going to enjoy. Leisure is a major part, but leisure is not the only part of space tourism. Space tourism also carries minds who are passionate and enthusiastic about this space to go and delve deeper, watch it closely, like Earth ko you're watching through from the space. And it's not just watching, you might notice something, you might actually be of help to the researchers there. You're not
What
just
will
a passenger.
happen then? How will be the help for researchers? I mean, how are they going to help researchers? Please elaborate on that.
The thing being, ma'am, you are not going there as novice people. You have certain amount of basic training that goes into taking you to the program. You, more than an asset, are in more than a liability, are an asset to the program in itself.
But that training is used to allow you to assimilate and acclimate to that environment that is in space, right? That is not supposed to teach you how to point out things that can help in scientific research.
Exactly. Scientists are going there for that matter only. So why do we need common people to go there? What's the need?
The thing is, ma'am, human resource, I believe, is like the most important and the best resource. And curiosity is a driving factor, which is much more than, pay scale of I believe somebody who's curious and somebody is good at something. Somebody is curious would do a much better job than somebody who's just good at it.
Right.
But don't you think that we have more pressing issues on Earth currently right now than we are going to space tourism? For example, अगर एक बच्ची है, वो शाम के समय आसमान में देख रही है और मतलब वो सोचती है आसमान के बारे में कि क्या चल रहा है, और तभी एक हवा का झोंका आता है, वो खांसने लगती है, वो घूम के देखती है तो देखती है कि कई मील दूर एक स्पेस रॉकेट जा रहा है जो लोगों को यहाँ से अंतरिक्ष घुमाने ले जा रहा है। अब यहाँ पर कुछ सवाल आते हैं, जैसे क्या अंतरिक्ष पर्यटन संसाधनों को पृथ्वी की अधिक महत्वपूर्ण आवश्यकताओं से हटा देता है? क्या हमारा ये पहला कर्तव्य नहीं बनता कि धरती पे जो लोग हैं उनका हम जीना बेटर करें? जैसे हम फंड्स हम लगा रहे हैं स्पेस टूरिज्म में जाने के लिए, अगर हम उसकी जगह सस्टेनेबल डेवलपमेंट गोल्स अचीव करने में लगा, जैसे पॉवर्टी है, जेंडर इनइक्वालिटी है और एजुकेशन इतना कम है, अगर हम इसको इस जगह चैनल करते हैं तो हमें बहुत ज्यादा फायदा हो सकता है। जैसे इंडिया अलोन 3% ऑफ द फंड इज यूज्ड फॉर स्पेस एक्सप्लोरेशन एंड 0.35% इज यूज्ड फॉर पॉवर्टी, और इंडिया की पॉपुलेशन वर्ल्ड में सबसे ज्यादा है। तो हमारा ये, मेरे हिसाब से पहला कंसर्न ये होना चाहिए कि यहाँ के जो लोग हैं हम उनका लाइफ बेटर करें, rather than हम किसी लीजर एक्टिविटी के लिए या फिर कोई ब्रॉडर व्यू अचीव करने के लिए स्पेस में जाए।
लेट्स जस्ट से कि आप स्पेस एक्सप्लोरेशन की बात करो, आप उसको एज एन इंडस्ट्री देखो। अभी वो इतना छोटा है कि द अमाउंट ऑफ जॉब्स क्रिएशन इतना नहीं है। अगर वो इंडस्ट्री एक्सपैंड करती है तो इनडायरेक्टली आपको नहीं लगता मोर एम्प्लॉयमेंट होगा, विच विल लीड टू लेस पॉवर्टी, मोर जॉब एम्प्लॉयमेंट, जेंडर इक्वालिटी के जो आपके सस्टेनेबल डेवलपमेंट गोल्स है वो काइंड ऑफ अचीव होंगे।
But you are countering him with the point of space exploration, dear, here.
Yes.
And space exploration is already happening and they are in favor of it. It is happening through scientists and everyone. But you are talking about space tourism. So how is that relevant and what is the need of the hour in that scenario?
We view as an industry, view it as an industry, तो job creation होगा, employment होगा, poverty कम होगी, right? More women are going to be employed, तो gender equality के sustainable development goals आपके achieve होंगे, and think of it as an inspiration, ma'am. The people, like I am a space enthusiast, मेरे जैसे कितने लोग होंगे जिनको पता ही नहीं होगा क्या क्या possibilities हैं, तो अगर हम उनको एक डिफरेंट लेंस और पर्सपेक्टिव से दिखाते तो डोंट यू थिंक मोर पीपल विल बी इंटरेस्टेड इन करियर्स रिलेटेड टू स्टेम तो क्वालिटी एजुकेशन नहीं आ गया
justify snatching away resources from a field that needs it more than space tourism.
और एम्प्लॉयबिलिटी में भी जो लोग ये इंडस्ट्री में काम करेंगे उनके लिए बहुत हाई एजुकेशन चाहिए होगी, और एजुकेशन तो पहले ही नहीं है, तो एजुकेशन जब तक नहीं आएगी.
Good point.
Invest in primary issues first.
एंड ऑल्सो हम सबको पता है कि टूरिस्ट का बिहेवियर क्या होता है, क्या हम उन्हें वहाँ पे भेज रहे हैं, क्या रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी है कि वो स्पेस को एक्सप्लॉइट नहीं करेंगे.
So your take on all 3 points I want one by one.
So I'll like to tackle tourist wala first. You are not space tourists are not just tourists. आप उनको एक पहले you're giving them a set of rules and regulations they have to follow. They are responsible individuals. Talking about resources, right? Resources was your point.
Yeah.
Ab we're not snatching away anything from anyone. आप ये देखो कि स्पेस टूरिज्म में आप you're countering saying कि resources नहीं है यार, resources तो माइनिंग इंडस्ट्री के लिए भी नहीं है, उसको कम कर लो. Pollution जो chemicals you're releasing it in the rivers उसको कम कर लो. This is an innovative thing. You should be skeptical about it. I'm not saying, but ये कहना कि it is just not justifiable and it's just unnecessary extravagance, I don't think that makes sense.
But you said that this generates employment, right? But how does that employment justify the use of the land that has been used for launch pads? Like, what if we use that land to set up industries whose pros and cons and administration we have already figured out, and we don't have that many doubts about it, and we are not unclear on that? How about we use that land for those industries instead of such a sunrise industry? You know what I mean?
For example, if government is taking that land, so government will provide schemes. But if they are private organizations, they may exploit the people who are owning that land.
Right.
That is one of the what do I say? That is one of the suggestions we have. जैसे एक industry becomes upcoming ना, तो government का interference आता है हर चीज में. We're talking about subsidizing the space missions and everything. That's what we will tackle about that. And you are equating land to employment. अगर imagine करो कि वो land barren ही है, उसका एग्रीकल्चरल कोई यूज नहीं है, वहाँ पे लॉन्च पैड बना हुआ है, जो ऑलरेडी बने हुए लॉन्च पैड्स हैं उनका मोर फ्रीक्वेंट यूज हो रहा है रादर देन क्रिएटिंग मोर, तो वो डेफिनेटली वी कैन डिस्कस एंड कम टू कॉमन ग्राउंड्स अबाउट इट. बट सेइंग कि वो इट्स अ थ्रेट टू एम्प्लॉयमेंट इन टू लाइफ ऑफ पीपल,
Okay, land acquisition is one part of it, but education, he made a very good point here about education. I would like you to repeat yourself again on that, and then I want your take on that, please.
You said that that employment will be created because if space tourism is expanded, but in order to work in such a big company like SpaceX or Blue Origin, इसरो एंड नासा में जाने के लिए इतनी एजुकेशन चाहिए होती है कि आईआईटी पास करने के बाद भी लोगों को नौकरी नहीं मिल रही है. और इंडिया में जितने इतनी ज्यादा बिलो पॉवर्टी लाइन में लोग हैं, एजुकेशन ही नहीं है, तो अगर एजुकेशन ही नहीं है तो वो उधर बड़ी बड़ी कंपनीज में काम कैसे करेंगे?
What he means is that people are not fully aware about this concept of space tourism. मतलब tourism for that matter is not available to everyone. Okay, because of the economic situation, financial background and everything. But when it comes to space tourism, people are not that informed. They're not well educated. They're not, it's out of their bounds, out of their reach. It's a thing for the higher society only. Then how is it a need of the hour, and how are you talking about country developing because of that?
We're not.
That
is the point, ma'am.
Yes.
Because when Vikram Sarabhai,
Right.
Dr. Homi J. Bhabha and Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam, they initiated the Indian space program. They were very enthusiastic about all this space exploration and all the possibilities the future generation could come up with. And this is the possibility we are coming up with.
We're not saying, ma'am, that this is the need of the hour. We are talking about it as a bold adventure.
Okay.
And
Right.
also, since space tourism is in its initial stages, जब तक हम उस चीज को expand नहीं करेंगे, तब तक उसका
Awareness नहीं आ
impact और
पाएगा.
influence बढ़ेगा ही नहीं.
Right.
Once the space tourism area will increase, it will expand, it will inspire the new generation for coming up towards the area of STEM, and it will make new innovation and new innovative workforce in our society that may help expand this area more better.
That the space exploration
That
can
is
also do.
space exploration, right? This
How is space tourism?
Space tourism is just
I think it is
sending-
a very simple logic. Space tourism को आगे तो बढ़ने दो, थोड़ा तो develop करने दो. It is really in its initial stage. अभी it is nowhere. It's very good that we are talking about the cons and pros, but उसे let it boost up थोड़ा सा. तभी we can talk about, तभी self awareness आएगी, and तभी the point that you spoke about कि education नहीं है. Education तब होगी ना जब लोगों को पता चलेगा कि this is what it is and we have to contribute उसमें. तभी होगा.
Like it is said by many organizations also. For example, science organization said that space tourism is not a waste of money. It is just exploring. It is to give opportunities, innovation, creativity.
Okay, great.
And also, no one is going without risk mitigation procedures, right? So we have all the risk mitigation procedures which will be controlled.
Virgin Galactic, we all know about the 2014 crash. I don't think that we can ever forget it. So what if something like that disastrous thing happens? How would you justify that?
And like just like Tanushi said, so we are ready to risk precious human life just to try. We are ready to risk everyone's
as you said,
people's
it is
lives
not
just to
people
try.
already
Risking our
interested.
lives. The people who are going above, they have given their consent. They want to see what is above in the space.
Wouldn't a scientist going to space be very much different and more beneficial for us than when a human being, normal
Let
human,
me suggest something now. For every spaceship that goes for tourism, उसमें अगर हम number of scientists बढ़ जाए, because देखो, it is directly proportional to the kind of interest you're creating in the society. आगे आने वाले टाइम में there will be more children who want to become scientists. तो हर एक टूरिस्ट वाले स्पेसशिप के साथ you include scientists, उनको रिसर्च के लिए encourage करो. Why not? No one saying no, right? अब initially उसको start तो करे दो. अभी आपके पास scientists नहीं है who are willing to go to the space. अब आप उन्हें एक initial exposure दे रहे हो, the ones who can afford it, उन्हें आप दे रहे हो. वो आगे जाके they'll talk about it, PR करेंगे. And then you know there will be people who want to come up as scientists and then go research about it, एक step ahead. Right?
And even when we were talking about कि हम साइंटिस्ट को ऊपर स्पेस में भेज देते हैं, अगर सारे साइंटिस्ट स्पेस में चले गए तो यहाँ पे जो एक्सप्लोरेशन होगी वो कौन करेगा?
पर्सनल इंडस्ट्री होती है, लाइक आर्कियोलॉजिस्ट विल रिसर्च हियर, आर्कियोलॉजिस्ट एंड अलग अलग इंडस्ट्री. साइंटिस्ट का तो मेन काम ऊपर का ही है ना, तो वो संभालेंगे. यहाँ पे तो और यहाँ पे अलग अलग जॉब्स हैं. यहाँ पे हिस्ट्री के लिए हमारे पास आर्कियोलॉजी है, सबका अपना अलग अलग
तो हम यही
डिपार्टमेंट
कह रहे
है.
हैं ना कि ह्यूमन रिसोर्स तो हर चीज के लिए जरूरत है. अगर आप उन्हें एक एक्सपोजर दे रहे
तो
हो
ऑलरेडी साइंटिस्ट तो
Already
है ना.
scientists are
और
being-
प्लस फॉर दैट पॉइंट आप लोगों ने एक पॉइंट कहा था कि अगर कोई पैशनेट है बहुत ज्यादा स्पेस वगैरह के बारे में और वो लाइक साइंटिस्ट नहीं बन पाया, तो उसे एक वे मिल जाएगा ऊपर जाने का. पर अगर कोई सच्ची पैशनेट है, उसने अच्छे से पढ़ाई करी है, उसने सब करा है, चांसेस लाइक ये एक्सेप्शनली केस है, वो तो बनेगा ही साइंटिस्ट. जिसको पूरी नॉलेज है, जिसने इतना पढ़ा है, वो क्यों नहीं बनेगा?
I want to know from you, speaking of curiosity, like she said, and you guys are making a point that it creates, it generates curiosity. Right. I think curiosity comes for things which are like non-achievable or unreachable, like then only, because you know nothing about things, so then you're very curious of what it is. But with this space tourism, you're going to, land everyone up in the space, and then there will be no curiosity. So it is killing curiosity, not generating it, I believe.
But I think if we start with this area,
Right.
the people will have curiosity, they will explore, they'll spread their ideas about the space, and that will help increase others get knowledge about what.
When everyone will land up there, then
How will everyone land up there unless you start?
That's what I'm saying. Ki common people, that's the practice. No, space tourism is for common people to land up there and explore the space, right? So when you're going to make this happen, then curiosity is killed.
Curiosity is not killed.
Why?
Curiosity leads to interest. Interest leads to you wanting to go work in that field. That is not killing curiosity. You
Okay.
inspiring other people to do
fine.
that.
Inspiring to then work in that industry.
Exactly.
Fine,
Yeah,
your
when
take on
it
that.
comes to inspiration, so as compared to someone getting inspired by going into the space or we getting inspired from the space tourists, isn't there a more broader scaled or inspiration to the masses rather being provided by space programs of exploration such as NASA and ISRO? Moreover, you mentioned that space tourists के साथ हम scientists भी भेज देंगे. So then, what is exactly the demarcation line between space tourism and space exploration? अगर हम scientist को भी भेज रहे हैं, so please explain कि space tourism actually में है क्या? वो what are they supposed to do over there?
Space exploration is very technical.
Yeah.
When you saw the अभी latest lunar हमारा satellite landing, that was so technical, मुझे आधी बातें समझ नहीं आई. अब मैं एक कॉमन मैन के लेंस से देखूंगी, आई विल बी एबल टू द पीपल हु गो देयर हु नो नथिंग एज कम्पेयर टू द साइंटिस्ट एंड रिसर्चर्स. वो आके मुझे मेरे टर्म्स में समझा सकेंगे, उसका पीआर कर सकेंगे, उसके लिए अवेयरनेस बढ़ेगी, उसके लिए एक्साइटमेंट बढ़ेगी, in turn creating a lot of different things, in turn indirectly affecting the economy, affecting the development, affecting the globe itself.
See, but वो आपको affect कर सकते the PR and everything, but staying in the present time, someone who has been a tourist, as you said, who will come and talk about this, but for that person has to be a very rich person, and how many such people do we have, and how is he going to come and inspire us? How are we going to basically relate to that person?
Isn't it again the funding point that we've
Yeah,
explained?
we are going to the
times?
funding point because that is the main concern now. Isn't there sort of like social disparity or a disbalance being created because only the super rich, like the 1% population is going and they are creating so much at this time environmental concerns for the rest of the 99% of the
देखो
population.
अभी the coming years वो increase होगा
Can
definitely.
we really
Let's focus
justify it?
on
Yeah,
Now
we
for
will
the
use
yeah,
simple,
देखो justified.
simple basic two terms we are going to use, that is microfinancing and crowded funding.
Okay.
ये दो चीजें होगी तो obviously broader mass will get accessible, उनको मिलेगा ना access, तो obviously जितनी industry grow होगी उतना ज़्यादा common people को मिलेगा.
Okay,
But
she
the
wants to
way
make
they-
let her demand for the safer, more efficient and cost-effective like space tourism will lead to more innovations and technological advancements that may even affect like various areas such as aviation, transportation, and material
I
science.
really think this space tourism industry will be like economically sustained in long term also.
Exactly.
Like-
Initially हम कह रहे हैं funding मिलना चाहिए, ठीक है, फिर उसके बाद government intervene करेगी,
So don't
sustainability
you think
आएगी.
it
the
will be
government
relying
would
on
get funds
government
from our taxes.
subsidies and capital?
The thing is, you are saying it's a game for ultra rich in the
Yeah,
beginning. Ultra rich se we've obtained the capital.
Okay,
Then the
she's
government
making a
comes into
point, yeah.
picture.
We were talking about how government should not do the fundings. अगर हमें ऊपर ऑर्डिनरी लोगों को भेजना है तो उसके लिए तो गवर्नमेंट को सपोर्ट और सब्सिडीज देनी पड़ेंगी ना.
But then it's the leisure activity. Government is not responsible for your leisure activity. It's responsible for space exploration, in which it has already invested a lot, and I support that. They should invest even more in it.
Now, so the space tourism can be like space tourism revenue can be reinvested in the space-related research work, and that will help us understand the universe in a better manner.
कोई भी चीज़ ऑब्वियसली स्टार्टिंग से परफेक्ट बहुत अच्छी नहीं होती. आपने बोला इंटरनेट, सोशल मीडिया डेवलप होने में टाइम लगा, बट द पॉइंट इज जस्ट लाइक यू मेंशन कि उसे डेवलप करना है, बट उसे हमें किस पॉइंट ऑफ टाइम हिस्ट्री में उसे स्टार्ट करें डेवलप करना. क्यों ना अभी हम बाकी प्रेसिंग जो ग्लोबल इश्यूज है हमारे पास, हम उन पे वो रिसोर्सेज
यार तो आप कह रहे हो आपकी इंडस्ट्री ग्रो करेगी वो टाइम लेके, पर उसको ग्रो करने के लिए जो हम लोग ह्यूमन इन्वेस्ट करेंगे उसमें वो ही पढ़े
Good
लिखे
point.
नहीं है तो कैसे काम
चलो
चलेगा.
आर्ट साइंस इज अ वेरी डिफिकल्ट फील्ड, सो दैट वे शी इज वेरी राइट. गुड पॉइंट.
और
आज
and-
मैंने बोल दिया स्पेस टूरिज्म की इंडस्ट्री को डेवलप नहीं करते. अब आप बताओ कि आप बाकी एजुकेशन कहाँ से लाओगे? हमारी इंडस्ट्री डेवलप नहीं करी, ओके. स्पेस टूरिज्म में पैसे नहीं लगा रहे, अब बताओ एजुकेशन कहाँ से ला रहे हो?
स्पेस टूरिज्म में पैसे नहीं जा रहे, आपकी इंडस्ट्री नहीं है, तो जब आपकी इंडस्ट्री नहीं है तो गवर्नमेंट भी इन्वेस्ट नहीं कर रही है, तो जो इन्वेस्ट का जो पैसा है वो हम इधर खींच लेंगे.
Okay.
See,
Guys,
to
moving
sum
on,
up our-
moving on. You're going on to different
Let me
directions.
conclude it.
Yeah.
So,
Conclude
to
it.
sum up our parts, थ्रू आउट द टाइम हमने जो डिबेट करी उससे एक मेन चीज़ ये निकल के आई कि अभी ये इंडस्ट्री आई है एंड अभी इसको और डेवलप होने में टाइम लगेगा. करेक्ट. सो दैट इज एग्रीड. हाउएवर द पॉइंट दैट वी आर ट्राइंग टू मेक ओवर हियर इज कि जब तक वो डेवलप होगा, जब तक बिल्कुल पूरी तरह से सस्टेनेबल बनेगा, जब तक मासेस तक पहुंच जाएगा, अफोर्डेबल एंड एवरीथिंग, उस टाइम तक फॉर द टाइमिंग जो लोग इसे अफोर्ड कर पा रहे हैं दैट इज़ द सुपर रिच, लाइक आई मेंशन बिफोर, तब तक तो जो इन्वायरमेंटल हैजार्ड्स, जो पोल्यूशन हो रहा है उसका दिस इज जस्ट लाइक कि डेवलप्ड कंट्रीज डेवलप तो हो गई, बट उन्होंने जो पोल्यूशन कर दिया तो अब उसको अंडर डेवलपिंग कंट्रीज को क्लाइमेट चेंज तो उन्हें सहना पड़ रहा है, राइट. सो ये वही चीज़ हो जाएगी कि बाकी की जो अभी 99% पॉपुलेशन बच रही है, जो नहीं जा पा रहे, उन पे जो इसके इम्पैक्ट्स आ जाएंगे. एंड बाकी चीज़ें एजुकेशन वगैरह भी, सो उसमें भी जितने टाइम लगेगा इसे डेवलप होने में, सो दैट इज़ व्हाट वी आर टॉकिंग अबाउट. क्यों ना तब तक वो चीज़ हम बाकी जगह पे रिसोर्सेज हम एलोकेट कर दें.
Okay, anybody else wants to make a concluding statement here? You want to say
That's-
something?
I mean, we can also say that problems that are occurring because of us affect everything and every person equally, be it animals, be it trees, be it anything, river bodies, anything. So this is contributing to a very different problem, which is contributing to a global, for example, global warming is already such a pressing concern, and now they are even more adding
up
pressure
new
on the
things to
global
that.
warming.
Okay, your concluding statements.
Yeah, so there are going to be loopholes in everything, right? But we can't just stop doing everything. So अगर हम सिर्फ नेगेटिव साइड्स को फोकस करेंगे तो उससे सिर्फ डेवलपमेंट हिंडर होगी. अगर हम नेगेटिव साइड्स को बैलेंस करते करते पॉजिटिव साइड को लेके अगर हम स्पेस टूरिज्म को प्रमोट करते हैं तो उससे डेवलपमेंट इनडायरेक्टली काफ़ी इफेक्ट होगा.
इनिशियल स्केप्टिसिज्म हर जगह आता है, बट आप ना एक चीज़ इग्नोर कर रहे हो कि जो हमारी जो स्पेस टूरिज्म के पोटेंशियल बेनिफिट्स हैं, जैसे साइंटिफिक एडवांसमेंट्स हो गया, टेक्निकल इनोवेशंस हो गया. तो द थिंग इज देयर आर टू साइड्स टू अ कॉइन, देयर विल बी नेगेटिव, देयर विल बी पॉजिटिव. ऑल वी आर ट्राइंग टू से देयर आर मोर प्रोज देन कॉन्स. रिन्यूएबिलिटी पे फोकस करना है, डेफिनेटली करना है, but with development, right?
And to talk about more like technological advancements, like satellites are helpful in communication, and there was this Apollo mission which led to the development of practical fuel cells, which was further used in cleaner cars.
So, well, that was a great show, and in the end, I would just say that it's a fact that wealthy businesses have already started setting up commercial space tourism services. But traveling to some place so unknown like space can take both a physical and psychological toll on us. Ultimately, it's an individual's choice, as everybody agreed to. So on that note, I will take your leave for now, but we'll be back soon with some more such hot topics and a lot more young energy like this. Until then, keep watching this space. Namaskar.